Wow. What a great day. What a great day for all of us. And to look at everybody assembled here to participate in the ribbon cutting ceremony of our first of 7 buildings in our National Aviation Research and Technology Park. I am just honored to say a few words. Governor Murphy, Senate President Steve Sweeney, Governor Jim Florio, Atlantic County Executive Dennis Levinson, Ambassador William J. Hughes, Congressman Frank Lobiondo, U.S. Air Force General Mark Lobin, our state representatives. We have both the 1st and the 2nd legislative district here, and with the Senate President here and also the governor, they may make a deal before the day's over. But we have Chris Brown and Vince Mazzio and John Amato. We have Bob Anzerzak, Matt Milam, and Bruce Land. And we have a lot of county and state officials here. And without everybody working together, this wouldn't happen. Let me start out that everybody here is very important to us. Thank you for joining us at today, June 19th, 2019, for this very historic New Jersey ribbon cutting ceremony for our first of 7 major buildings in the National Aviation Research and Technology Park. As a former coach, I know the value of teammates and teamwork to make a championship team. We have 8 winning teammates that I need to thank for today and the success we have today. The first thank you goes to the Atlantic County Improvement Authority. John Lamey. John, you were amazing, always there, always giving us support and driving us. The second is Atlantic County Economic Alliance, Lauren Moore. Lauren, we wouldn't be here today without you and your work and your dedication. You're amazing how you learned to navigate Trenton and be able to do the things we need to do. Third is Stockton University with President Harvey Kesselman and Michael Angulo. Mr. President, we are taking Stockton University to new heights under your leadership. And it's one of our great values here in the state of New Jersey. South Jersey Transportation Authority, Steve Doherty was always in support. Steve Mazur was the treasurer of our board. 5th, the New Jersey CRDA with Matt Dowdy and Marshall Spivak. 6th, and this is so important, the FAA William J. Hughes Technical Center. We have a fabulous director. Shelley Yak has been with us step by step. She's been an advisor to our sides to direct us. And I don't know if you know this, but our Hughes Technical Center in New Jersey is not only the finest aviation and technical center in America, it's the finest in the world. Our FAA Hughes Technical Center will be approving all the work efforts to take the aviation industry from radar to satellite, a 10-year project at a cost of around $30 billion. Amazing the type of personnel we have at our FAA Center. It's amazing the type of work they do. And it's also amazing that they're here and they're making New Jersey the aviation leader in the country. The 7th, I want to thank our board, the National Aviation Research and Technology Park Board. I've already named several of those people who are on the board, but I've been blessed to have a vice president that's worked with me hand in hand for the last 8 years, and that's Dr. Ann Harlem. She also was the former director of the FAA Center, and boy, her wisdom and her experience and background were just awesome, and I love her and I can't thank her enough. We have Sam Young giving us great advice from aviation and his work with in his time in the United States Air Force. Meg Worthington comes from the Stockton board, and Meg is well known around the county, and she's been extremely helpful. And we have students on our board. I think it's great that we have Stockton students on the board. We have Monica O'Kane and Ted Honora. Our staff has been exceptional. Our attorney's been Fred Cerny. Our executive assistant, and I can't thank Noel Marsh enough, started out right out and then ended and starting to Stockton University, got her degree. And she's been our executive assistant for a lot of years now. And I want to thank our current director, Frank Levitsky, from the New Jersey Innovation Institute. And we have three of our former executive directors here. We have Ron Esposito, Joe Shears, and John Wiley. And I want to say to them, this wouldn't be today without the groundwork that you helped to give us. Finally, and I think as important as anything, is Atlantic County government. We've had a most valuable player to get us here. His name is Howard Kyle. And Howard, the last year, we have advanced more than any time before. And we have a great coach. I know how important a coach is, being one, and that's in Dennis Levinson. I've known Denny a lifetime. He's a teacher like I was. He believed in public service to the benefit of his community and his county. He looks out for people. He doesn't play one side against. He wants to do what's best. Without his coaching and keeping all of us working together, we would not be here today. So it's my honor and pleasure to introduce to you the Atlantic County Executive, the Honorable Dennis Levinson.
It is a pleasure to be here. On my way out the door, my wife called me back and said, "You're not going like that." I said, "Like what? I think I look pretty good." She said, "If you're going to a disco, put a tie on." I said, "Why?" "The governor's going to be there." Ed made mention of Ambassador Congressman Hughes and Congressman Lobiondo. We wouldn't be here today. The FAA wouldn't be here today without the two of them. Made sure they stayed. Now let me figure out who Simon missed. Did you get Steve Hampton? Where's Steve? Steve, thanks for being here. Steve is from Embry-Riddle, which, by the way, is the foremost aeronautical university in the world. They believe in us. Thank you so very much. Pete McHugh, where's Pete? Well, if he was here, I would say that he's working with us on the U.S. EDA 16 Challenge, I-6 Challenge. Gerald Hoff and David Sweet from Boeing, Bob Regensberger from Lockheed, James Johnson from Raytheon, Ed Weigel from AVI-8 Air Capital, Thomas Mock from ARSC Federal. What else we got? Andrew Winkler and Joe Shears from Thunderbolt, Paul Nedzbala and Mariana Alicia from General Dynamics. We also have former Assemblymen. The Assemblymen were all introduced, but we have Assemblyman Blee, Klein, Lefevre, and Cerny here. We also have Tim Sullivan from the SJEDA, New Jersey Labor and Workforce Commissioner, Robert Angelo, Brett Maddock and Lauren Moore, Atlantic County Economic. We have our Board of Freeholders, our prosecutor, sheriff, and mayors, council people from all over. Jerry Del Rosso, thank you for everything, Jerry. My administrator, the unsung hero of Atlantic County. And I am most pleased that Governor Jim Florio is here today. And all I have to say is, they should have listened, Jim. Well, here we are, and we're very proud to be here today. I do have a few remarks that I'd like to share with you. This has been a long time coming, and for a while it was pie in the sky. We're here today to cut a ribbon, ostensibly. But we're really here to start a new industry, not only in Atlantic County, but through all New Jersey, and hopefully the whole East Coast. We can do it. This is just the beginning. Establishing a new industry may seem overly ambitious for a county our size, but it was something that we must do. And I'm not prone to hyperbole like most politicians. Yeah, right. I exaggerate everything we do. But here, this is just the first building. We're going to build 6 more. And we're confident it's going to be filled. And many of us aren't going to be here by the time it's completed. But there's an old Greek proverb that a society is great when old men plant trees, the shade they know they'll never sit under. And that's what we're doing. This is the beginning. This is the beginning of diversification for this county. What we've talked about for 100 years. We need more than just gaming. We need more than just a 3-4 month economy. This is going to bring it about with good, solid jobs that are not only help the people that are working, but will help the whole area. It will be symbiotic, and most certainly, we're all looking forward to it. Not too long ago, things were going well in Atlantic County. The economy was booming. 3 new casinos were coming in. And our problem was, holy cow, this is 15,000 new jobs. How are we going to accommodate them? What about our infrastructure? What are we going to do about curbs, sidewalks, drainage? How about schools? Where are we going to put all these people? How are we going to house them? And then, unfortunately, everything crashed. You know that we went through one of the worst economies since the Great Depression. Not only didn't we get the 3 casinos, we did get one, by the way, which went bankrupt, but other casinos closed and 15,000 jobs were lost. We were in a depressed economy. Things looked terrible. And what did we do? We went on the offensive. We didn't sit back. And, you know, in the beginning, very few people believed in us. I would go around and talk to as many people as I could. Got a little pin money from Frank Lobiondo. But generally, we were on our own, this county. And I don't blame anybody. We were in the most depressed real estate market in the country. We led the country in foreclosures. And I wanted to put up a building. And when I spoke to people about it, they would say, well, it sounds good. Do you have any tenants? No. Do you have any prospective tenants? No. One person said, what is this, build it and they'll come? That movie was a fantasy. I didn't expect the Wright brothers to walk through the pines like Shoeless Joe walked through the Iowa cornfield, but I believed in it. And I got other people to believe in it. Don't quit. This can happen. And what will make it happen is what it's been right under our noses. The FAA, the premier testing facility in the world, along with an airport that's totally underutilized. Why don't we capitalize on it? Why don't we do something about it? Things went extraordinarily slowly. And when we did have people that were interested in Class A offices, we turned many of them down because we restricted ourselves to only aviation-related companies that would come into our building. That's what we did, and we stuck to it, and we succeeded. It was a heavy lift. Now, as you can see from your enthusiasm, it's a reality, and it's just the beginning. We showed that we were serious. Why would anybody else think we were serious if we didn't step forward, put up $20 million, and build a building on a spec? Well, we did it. And as you can see, we succeeded. The building is fully leased. Our tenants include GDIT, General Dynamics Information, and Thunderbolt Software, a company doing work with Lockheed on the F-35 mission systems. The building also includes 7,000 square feet for FAA office space and their laboratory for innovation and future technologies, and offices for the NARTP. The ACIT also leased a small area for their aviation program, which will include classroom space and also a flight simulator and a marker space where students will have access to 3D printers, a laser cutter, and other such equipment. An area also has been set aside for business incubators where aviation-related startup companies can be nurtured and supported to ensure their growth. We landed. We're here. Mission accomplished. And now we want to go forward with this. We laid the foundation. And with the airport, why shouldn't we have maintenance and repair operations there? We have room for it. A maintenance training academy we can start at the airport and launch the Smart Airport Technology Accelerator Program. Governor, Mr. President, we can do it. Atlantic County now has a product to sell. If you interface with the FAA and locate operations in Atlantic County, we can put you in a state-of-the-art building in an aviation innovation hub, tie you to the FAA computer and data system, introduce you to FAA subject matter experts, enable you to do testing at a smart airport and testbed facility, help you access research institutions and universities such as NJIT, Embry-Riddle, the National Institute of Aerospace, and Rowan University, and help you explore Department of Defense opportunities at Joint Base McGuire Fort Dix, Lakehurst, as well as unmanned air systems and testing opportunities with our partners in Cape May County. Let's all go forward with this. This is one thing we can agree with. These are good, solid jobs. I met with every superintendent of school in the county and explained to them how important it is to get a curriculum together with a strong STEM curriculum. And if you want to, throw the A in there. You know, we can have science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. Why not? We can do it all. And this is just the beginning. I want to give you my heartfelt thanks to each and every one of you for eventually your support that came along, because I understand why you're reluctant. And I would have been also. Someone said to me, gee, you're awfully generous with everybody else's money. You know, we can do that as politicians many times, and we've done it. This time, it paid off and will continue to pay. Thank you again, all of you, for being here today. Now, for the important people. I want to introduce to you Governor Phil Murphy. You being here today, Governor, gives this project credibility, and it is deeply appreciated. You know, I met with the governor and in my office right after he was elected, and we sat down. We didn't talk politics. We talked about everything else. T.S. Eliot's poetry. We talked about Orson Welles' movies and the humility and the courage of Abraham Lincoln. I said, gee, we have a Renaissance man sitting in Trenton. How lucky we are. Ladies and gentlemen, the governor of the state of New Jersey, Phil Murphy.
Thank you, Denny. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Denny, I noticed that a bus pulled up as you were speaking, and I suspect a number of the folks who you were going to acknowledge were on that bus. So I want to thank the county executive for his friendship, for his leadership on this. He said it better than I could ever say it. This is something that in so many respects diversifies and deepens the economy here in Atlantic County. And it's a big day for the home team. Ed Salmon, thank you so much for your friendship and for your passion and your leadership. On your list of 8 VIPs, Sweeney and I noted that we were not on that list. So we've found common ground finally in our misery. So. I believe every elected official in the entire state has been acknowledged already, but I did want to reiterate, we got a couple of mayors here. Mayor Paul Hudson, who's our host mayor. Paul, where'd you go? Did you sit down? You're in the back. Thanks, Paul. And Frank Gilliam is in from Atlantic City. So to all the elected officials on the dais and in the audience and in our midst, God bless you all. Again, I want to give a particular shout out to the Senate President and Senator Chris Brown, my friend, because they too are not wearing ties, Denny. So please get that word back to Mrs. Levinson. We're going to hear from Shelley. We're going to hear from Dawn. We're going to hear from the shy and retiring Harvey Kesselman in a few moments. But I did want to acknowledge three giants in the back row to my right. Former Congressman Frank Lobiondo, by the way, Congressman also not wearing a tie, so bless you and thank you. But a guy who represented this part of the state with great distinction, was a particular champion for organized labor in this state. Congressman, it's great to see you. God bless you. It's great to have you here. Governor Jim Florio, he's heard me say this before in so many respects, is a role model for me. A guy who was a champion at every step of his career and life and continues to be. Governor, God bless you. Always great to be with you. And last but certainly not least, a guy who's got a big iron in this fire, former congressman, a friend, and I could say in the fellow former ambassador club, it is great as well to be with Congressman Bill Hughes with us today. I will be brief. As has been noted by both Ed and Denny, this is a great day for South Jersey and Atlantic County, and the fact that we're all here speaks to this being a game changer for both the regional economy and for New Jersey's capability to become the home of technology and innovation, both nationally and, as was mentioned by Ed, globally. This project we're celebrating today speaks to so many aspects of how New Jersey will lead in the future of the innovation economy. Advances are not made in vacuums. Rarely do they come about when one person has a single idea. Advances take partnerships that bring other new ideas in along the way. Partnerships at all levels, from our county and municipal stakeholders to federal collaborators at the FAA, who, as was mentioned in a unique arrangement, will occupy space in the tech park and work with university and private players to strengthen a formidable aviation research triangle in the state, and partnerships like that with internationally renowned Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. Advances also take leveraging community investments. They take a talented workforce. All of that is what is going to come together here at the National Aviation Research and Technology Park. Advanced logistics and transportation are among the key economic sectors that New Jersey is poised to dominate, and there is absolutely no reason we cannot. We have our tremendous and advantageous location right in the middle of the nation's busiest economic corridor. We have strong institutions of higher education like Stockton University and Rowan University and others, contributing to a deep pool of talent, and we have new tools to incent startups to take root at our incubators. And we have a new commitment to fostering the strong public-private partnerships needed to invest in and commercialize innovative new technologies. All of this is now under one roof, that roof right there. And as was said, this is the first of 7 roofs. This is the place that will also tie together all the work that is being done across South Jersey, whether it be the unmanned air system research in Cape May, or the work of our airmen and women at Joint Base McGuire-Dix Lakehurst. Game-changing R&D just doesn't happen in a lab. Innovations are not just in biotechnology or in new smartphone apps. It's also research to change the way people and goods get from point A to point B. This is the future of New Jersey. It's a future built on good jobs across multiple fields of technology. It's a future where communities rise and new innovations literally take flight. The National Aviation Research and Technology Park is this future, and I cannot wait to come back often to watch it take off. Again, thank you so very much, each and every one of you, beginning with the county executive, and congratulations again to all who worked today, to make today possible, and to all the partners coming together for a better tomorrow for Atlantic County, South Jersey, and the entire great state of New Jersey. Thank you.
My wife Patsy is here on the end. Can I take my tie off now? This next gentleman has been a great friend for I can't remember how many years. He's a great legislator. In fact, arguably the hardest working legislator in the state of New Jersey or any state. And that everybody has to nod their head on. There's a lot going on right now with Steve, the governor of New Jersey. Here's extraordinarily passionate individuals that love their state, that want to see things done and get things done. And, you know, in the beginning, when this country was started, Ben Franklin made reference to a table that was wobbly. Take a little bit off this leg, and a little bit off that leg, and eventually that table will become stable and useful. And that's where we are right now. We're in conversation, and conversation is good, it's healthy. I use the term great, many of us do, very loosely. Steve has not only been a great friend, a great man, a great legislator, and I have every confidence in the world that he will make this state greater than it is in a partnership with the governor, with the state legislature. So the future is bright. It's sunny. Another thing Franklin said on the way out, he looked at George Washington's chair, who presided over the Constitutional Convention, and he saw a sun, a half sun. And in the beginning, he said, I didn't know whether that was a setting sun or a rising sun. But now I know it's a rising sun. And now I know these two individuals that care so passionately and love this state so much, we're going to have a rising sun also. It is my great pleasure to introduce to you my friend for many, many years, my pal, Steve Sweeney.
Thank you. You know, walking up here, and I saw him in a tie. I didn't think he owned one. That's a rental, isn't it, Dan? Yeah, it was a shock, but I want to start off with thanking Governor Murphy for being here, really showing the importance of this facility and this event, and letting the entire state know what we have here in southern New Jersey and Atlantic County. And I want to also thank Governor Florio. What Denny said, they should have listened. This state would have been so much better off. Unfortunately, decisions are made, sometimes they're short-sighted, and we continue to deal with the mistakes that they made. And our two congressmen, Congressman Hughes, we wouldn't be here without you, and Frank Lobiondo has been my friend for 25 years, and we didn't have a better champion in Congress fighting for all of us, not Republicans or Democrats, all of us. Frank was a phenomenal legislator, and I'm thrilled that Jeff's a congressman, but I hated to see Frank leave, and I mean that. And I want to recognize one of my senators, one of my colleagues, Bob Andrzak is here too from the 1st District. Bob, thanks for making it. But most importantly, I want to acknowledge, I won't say great, an amazing, I mean the governor's saying, we keep hearing great, an amazing, intelligent leader that Denny is. Denny's a leader. You know, it's easy to follow, it's very hard to lead and get people to see your vision and your beliefs. You know, leaders see things that don't exist. They see what can be, not what it is. You know, and that takes a lot of work, Denny. And then, I remember him talking to me about this. You got any tenants? No. You got any leads? No. But he knew. He had the courage. Leaders, amazing leaders, have the courage to step up and put their name on the line. And that's what Denny did. Denny put his reputation on the line because he believed in this region, he believes in the people of this county, and he wants to make it better. Me and the governor were saying, this is great, we're diversifying the economy even further. And the county's taken a lead in the diversification because we saw what happened when we had all of our eggs in one basket. It was horrible. And I remember talking to Denny when people were getting laid off, and it was painful. And he said to me, he said, I'm going to do something about this. He said, I'm not going to let this happen again. He says, I'm going to diversify the economy of this county. And the investment and the vision that he showed here, really, you got to give him a round of applause. Because it is so deserved. Look at the companies that have located here now. He said he could do it. And guess what? He did it. You know, as Denny says, you know, a lot of politicians say a lot of shit, right? I had to, Denny. I had to put it in there. I had to. It's me. That's who I am. But Denny's strong conviction and belief made this a reality. There was hundreds of construction workers working here, feeding their families. There's going to be a lot of good paying permanent jobs. You know, if you do something to change one person's life, you really fulfilled your mission in life if you can help one person. Denny's continuing to help thousands of people. Denny, I am thrilled to call you a friend. I am proud to be here because me and Denny have been friends for years, and everyone says, why are you two guys friends? I was a freeholder director. I love that job. The Senate presidency, it's not as much fun. But I saw Denny back then as someone that was willing to take risk and really was willing to do what needed to be done to improve the community where he lives. So, Denny, I am thrilled to be here to see your vision and your teams. I know it was a team, it's not alone, but there's a leader, and you are the leader. Your vision come to a reality, and thank God you made a decision to move forward, that you sold it, you worked hard on it, and there's going to be another 7 buildings before we're done. That's a lot of people going to be here, a lot of jobs. And, you know, and he went beyond just building buildings. He's working with the schools to make sure they create the workforce that these employers are going to need. You know, he's completed the job. He's completed the circle by doing that. So, again, I am thrilled to be here today. And it's extra special having our governor, Phil Murphy, here to recognize the great work that has been done here. Things like this just don't happen. I hear, and Denny, you hear, and Governor Murphy, we hear so many BS proposals come, you know, time and time again. And like very rarely you hear real ones. Denny's the real deal. Thank you.
It's just like I wrote it. How lucky we are here in the state of New Jersey to have individuals like this representing us. And how lucky we are to have Shelley Yak, the FAA Technical Center Director. I'm a politician. You're not running for anything. I'm taking the credit. This would not happen without Shelley believing in this also. Gave us the land, the enthusiasm, and also the credibility. The FAA director is behind this. Well, thank you so very, very much. And you know, I'm at a loss for words how important Shelley was to this project. It's my pleasure, my honor, my privilege to introduce to you Shelley Yak.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and it is a good morning. the National Aviation Research and Technology Park is opening for business. What a day. What a feat. What an opportunity for our future. Welcome everyone to the monumentous occasion we have today in our distinguished, not extinguished, please. I think you're rubbing off on me. Yes. So what does it take to get here today? Short story, 4 things. Focused efforts, willing partners, dedicated individuals, and good timing. The longer story, it started with a vision. Anne, Ron, John, Denny, Howard, there was a few of us. When the technical centers started looking at this, we saw a trend, a convergence of trends. FAA's modernization of the national airspace system, a growth in public-private partnerships, and the advent of new technologies and innovation in aviation. We recognized this opportunity, and we saw that with industry, government, and academia, that if we joined forces, we could advance technology for the benefit of the flying public. You see, the Technical Center has had roots in this area for over 60 years. On this wonderful campus, we have an operating airport, which is a research airport, which is very unique. We are the home to the Federal Aviation Administration, the place where development and implementation of technology occurs. We're home to Homeland Security's Transportation Security Lab. We're home to the Federal Air Marshal Service Training Center, to the U.S. Coast Guard Air Station Atlantic City, and to the 177th Fighter Wing, New Jersey Air National Guard. Our current combined impact on this region is over 8,000 workers and an aggregate amount of about $700 million. That wasn't good enough for us, was it? I'm looking at the previous directors. Little greedy, we wanted more. How about building a research park that could double or triple that amount to 1.5 billion, say? And that's what brings us here today. A park that enables the FAA and positions Atlantic County and New Jersey to globally affect the future of aviation. How? Through research, development, test and evaluation, and transfer and commercialization of cutting-edge aviation technology. And there's a promise of a rewarding payoff. Looking ahead, right here, right now, our prospects include implementing advanced technologies at the Atlantic City International Airport to become a smart airport and a commercial spaceport. We have teams actively working this vision right now and figuring out how we can make that happen. An education and job program that will establish an aircraft maintenance academy. And we are using FAA labs in this building as a foundation for cooperative research and development agreements with 3 companies and 1 university now. And they will be conducting research in areas of artificial intelligence, smart airports, data analytics, and the sky's the limit. We are working with our partners, our academic partners, ACCC, Stockton University, Rowing, New Jersey Institute of Technology, and Embry-Riddle. Why? So that we can provide internship opportunities for our students. So that we can introduce aviation science, technology, engineering, mathematics studies to our students from elementary to college level. And develop continuing education tracks for our teachers. Teach the teachers. That is how we're going to achieve that future, that extra little bit of workers, right? We're going to not import employees, but instead invest in our children for the future with this building and these activities. Starting here, starting now, at this research park, our future is unbounded, and the possibilities unlimited. The National Aviation Research and Technology Park is open for business, a testament to a vision. With a mission and a conviction to develop and research aviation technology and provide a home for the future workforce that will flourish in South Jersey. Thank you.
How about that? Shelley said, this is just the start. Since we're quoting, after the battle over the Channel, Churchill said, this is not the end, this is the end of the beginning. And that one building is the end of the beginning. And when we were looking at what we were going to do with these new buildings, notice something very interesting. We might not have enough parking. Imagine that. It's like a restaurant. Holy mackerel, it's always too crowded. You know, we're working too hard. We're not going there. We hope that that occurs. We'll find parking. Now it is my pleasure to introduce to you the president of Stockton University. When this first started, we needed a university partner. And Harvey stepped forward and came up with a minimum amount of money. Little did I know when I met him in the old Atlantic City High School site, when I said this would be a great spot for Stockton, he agreed. This would be terrific. Can you help? I said, well, we're going to do everything we can. Little did I know we were going to pay for it all. So $127 million later, which, by the way, I'd do it again. The vision that Harvey had to make Atlantic City a university town, to expand Stockton, to expand the opportunities that young people would have here in our county. It was something that I was enthusiastic about, and I still am. It is my great pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Harvey Kesselman.
Thank you very much. I'll be back for more, Den. I heard someone say that politicians can embellish or BS a little bit. You ought to be in a room of university presidents. Pales in comparison, I assure you. Let me first introduce Leo Schofer, the chair of the Board of Trustees of Stockton, because he has been instrumental both from the Stockton point of view as well as the county in supporting this endeavor. So Leo, congratulations, thank you. And I would not be a university president if I didn't commend Shelley Yak, who, by the way, is an alum. And for those few of you out there who aren't yet, there is still time left for you. Now, thank you, Governor, Senate President Denny, Ed, the rest, all the attendees, Congressman, Governor, Howard, and the like, for inviting me to offer a few words, and I promise to be that, on this joyous and hopeful occasion. More than a decade ago, when severe turbulence interrupted the once booming economic driver of our region, the future seemed uncertain. But those years did not weaken our resolve as a community to move forward. It actually strengthened it. Today, I offer this axiom, spoken by Abraham Lincoln more than a century ago, but still very, very relevant, which says, the best way to predict the future is to create it. The best way is to create it. And this NARTP initiative serves as a perfect example of the power of collaboration and its ability to create one's desired future. With resourceful and innovative thinking, the idea of establishing an aviation research and technology park took flight as part of a larger conversation to create economic diversity for our region. This was definitely out-of-the-box thinking. Aviation? Yes, aviation. And has been mentioned, South Jersey now has a real opportunity to create a new economic ecosystem and aviation hub. One rooted in the field of STEM or STEAM and leveraged by the FSA's presence, the park's location to surrounding metropolitan markets, the state's highly educated workforce, a modern airport, and the regional demand for aviation maintenance. It was just last September that Boeing aircraft manufacturer estimated that the aviation industry will need 754,000 new aircraft technicians alone over the next 2 decades. Along with providing financial and personnel support, Stockton is proud to be a founding member of the NARTP and to help establish an aviation-focused industry for our region. But no one flew solo in this venture, which is evidenced by the other esteemed platform members and many of you out there today. Moving this initiative forward has been a concerted effort, one that engages industry, local, state, and federal governments, and several academic partners. So today is a great day for Atlantic County, the region, and our great state of New Jersey, for we are embarking upon something new, something hopeful and optimistic. We all collectively believe in the vision of the NARTP, and its potential to take off is limitless. So on behalf of the entire Stockton University community, we thank everyone here today, particularly Danny and Howard, for ensuring that this momentous occasion has come to fruition. Thank you very, very much.
Harvey's certainly the right man at the right time, and we're so blessed to have him in the position that he is in. The Economic Alliance, did we talk about that? I'm not going to, but I do want to introduce Brett Maddock, who we put on there, and of course, some critics said, you have all men. So, no, the chairman is a woman. It just happens to be named Brett. And we are so, and that was a criticism. And Lauren Moore, who we stole out of Trenton, New Jersey, who couldn't work harder to bring this to fruition. And now I want to introduce NJII President, Dr. Donald Sebastian. Not yet. I didn't know Dr. Sebastian, but Howard insists that I put him on the program. And I said, why? He said, first of all, the NJII is important to us. And more importantly, it's Don Sebastian. Everybody loves the guy. You want him on your side. So sight unseen, I agreed. Doctor, it's my pleasure.
That's tough to live up to. So I had prepared a long list of people who I had to acknowledge and thank. And everybody thus far has been thanked at least twice. And if I keep doing it again, I think the music will come up like at the Oscars and the hook will come off. So please accept my humble thanks to everyone who's been engaged in this effort from even before it was really conceived to bring it to this moment. We're here together, I think, for a common purpose because we are in both an exciting and a challenging age. I would say the level of disruption is unparalleled or unprecedented in our lifetimes, in our parents' lifetimes, depending on your age, maybe even your grandparents' lifetime. Probably not since the late 1800s, early 1900s, have we seen changes that ripple through almost every conceivable industry and every product. Think back to an era before you had electric light and power, no telephones, no broadcast radio or television. We didn't have automobiles, we didn't have petroleum refining, we didn't even have modern drug technology. That was the world before 1880. It all changed. And guess where it started changing? Right here, right? All of those things, all of those industries were either born or grew to international prominence right here in New Jersey. Not well known, we also had a role in the aviation industry. The Wright brothers really weren't too great at turning their idea into a business. And ultimately, they sold it off, merged. Curtiss Wright became the corporate entity. And right here in New Jersey, the Curtiss Wright engines became one of the dominant things that enabled long-distance flight, including the Spirit of St. Louis. They were the Spirit in the Spirit of St. Louis. And we, of course, were the place that invented radar and communications, all of things which contributed to aviation. So now here we are in a new era where there are new disruptors, major disruptors. The life sciences is a whole nother arena, but this combination of machine intelligence, advanced robotic systems, data analytics, cybersecurity issues, cloud computing, high-speed data communications are all positive elements of change, but if you're in a business that doesn't own it, doesn't understand it, potential disruptors. And that really is why we, NJI, are here, is we're trying to help American industry harness these forces of change, particularly in an area where they don't necessarily have the internal resources to do it. Either they don't have the core competency because it's outside of their knitting, or they don't have the financial resources. So how are we going to do? How are we going to deal with issues of next generation air traffic control, aircraft operations, aircraft maintenance, baggage handling and freight logistics and airport operations and even unmanned systems? Well, we think there is a new model for industrial R&D. In an age where merger and acquisition has really become the new definition of R&D, we need to find a way to pull together the innovators, largely small businesses, entrepreneurs, the same kind of people who were at the front end of the last series of disruptive changes, and package them together, pull them together, cluster them together in a location like this. That's the starting point, right? So you have density of common effort. But it takes more than just proximity and beautiful buildings. There's other jet fuel that we need to grow them. There's obvious business assistance. But we think also very important is access to the kinds of facilities that you need to take an idea from a PowerPoint slideshow and a 2-minute elevator pitch to something that has substance, that can be tested. Does it make technical sense? And does it make dollars and cents in the market? That's a very difficult task to do. We've seen the explosive growth of the app community, the dot-com world before that. That doesn't necessarily take that kind of investment. But when we talk about physical products and things, they're going to carry hundreds of people at a time. You don't go from a concept into a finished product in a multi-billion-dollar IPO in one step. And so that's our theme here. What we've developed then are a set of capabilities that allow us not just to bring the companies together, to allow them to work across organizational boundary lines, and not just big companies and small companies, which is the sort of supply chain of ideas, but also government funding, but government as a participant. We've seen some of the governor's initiatives that match here perfectly. The Ignite initiative to support business incubation, the Evergreen Fund as a way in which investors can have match funds to build these sort of innovative companies. The hub funding that allow communities to come together and define the tent post around which their future economy is going to be built. These are all wonderful contributions. We hope that we can be an enabler to take that funding, to take the climate of change and transform that from aspiration to perspiration. And so with skill and with luck, we hope that our team will not only fill 1 building, 2 buildings, 7 buildings, but this work will spill off and spill around, and we build a vibrant hub that makes this the aviation Silicon Valley of the future. With that, thank you very much.
That certainly is not much of a challenge. We recognize John Lamy with the ACIA, and I see that the board chairman is here, Roy Foster. Roy? He's also the head of the building trades. Don't think I'm sucking up. I already got their endorsement. Howard, what's next? I knew that. I thought maybe there was just the ribbon.
We're going to cut the ribbon
Thank you. This is Linda Gilmore. 2 days ago, she had her gallbladder out. And as Howard is my right hand, she's Howard's right hand. In fact, we all stand next to each other. Thinking too much of that television series. Ladies and gentlemen, you have my heartfelt gratitude. Everybody up here, thank you so very much. This is a start, and we got a running start on this one. Let's see this to fruition. Silicon Valley, I like that. And I like you all. Thank you so very much. Let's move over for the ribbon cutting.